I'm prepping for Lent. I'm taking Lent season very seriously this year. I'm not saying that I wasn't taking it seriously back then, but I didn't understand the importance of Lent season, if that makes sense. I was born and raised Catholic, grew up into it, and I didn't ask many questions or anything like that. So I'm seen as like a cradle Catholic. If you're born and raised into the faith, born into the faith. And yeah, so I didn't really ask much questions. I had a very complicated relationship growing up with God and the church, that at some point I left the Catholic Church, but would still go to Mass whenever I felt like I wanted to. But I wanted to go to a different church and see, just to figure it out. So during that time, it was a few years that I was not fully following the Catholic faith. I started going to a lot of non-denominational churches. The ones that I was going to were like Hollywood, like LA area, where they literally had a coffee shop outside where I could literally take my coffee into the service, which was like a new thing for me. As Catholic, that was never a thing. Like, you couldn't even eat like before you went into Mass. Like, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like that. Trying to figure out where I stood with my faith. I knew I believed in God for sure. So yes, I started going to those type of churches and I enjoyed it. And at that moment in my life, it made sense. God was calling me to be there for whatever reason, right? And honestly, I met a couple people. I still talk to one of them. So I think it's a blessing in disguise that I was called for to go to a different church, and I met someone who I still keep in touch with now. So anyways,